Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and this should be the third video of the day if everything's gone right. You never know with YouTube. But it's that time. New DLC means new pretty maps and I want to talk about the pretty maps. So, before anything, if you're interested, I should be live on twitch.tv/The Great Book of Grudges streaming, and we're going to be streaming every single day until the DLC drops. Right now we'll be doing battle testing and so on, but yeah. Map time. So new DLC means new maps, and unfortunately, there's not that many new maps. It's one of these things where race packs seem to not bring in too many. We get 2 minor settlements and 2 major settlements for the Chaps Dwarfs, and 1 new underway map, which is actually kind of cool. Visually, they're great, so I'm not going to complain too much. At the end of the day, the main focus here was the roster, which is a pretty big roster, and you know, new mechanics and stuff. But maps are cool, especially since you're going to be seeing them as you start expanding your empires and so on. So, at the beginning we'll be looking at the minor stuff. What you will notice, and don't get discouraged by this, they're not really unique. They're just using the same format as other settlements that we've already seen in game, because it's the same basic shell, and then just, you know, changing around the assets. The assets themselves actually look fantastic. As you can see here, there's quite a decent amount of stuff. Like, I'm looking at these settlements and I'm seeing Chaos Dwarf settlements, which I think is the most important thing. The assets that are being made for this is the Gates of Tsar, so this is a minor settlement. It looks great, not very defendable, but then again, with the Chaos Dwarfs, you're going to be mostly going out and just taking the fight to them. You're a very, very strong faction, let's be honest there. The second map itself is the Tower of Grief, which I kind of like a lot more than the other one. The Gates of Tsar was just kind of boring to me in terms of style. This one, I'm not sure if it's unique or not, in all honesty, as it's got the same format as some orc settlements as far as I'm aware, but it's kind of changed a few things around. Or maybe I'm just going insane. I could be going insane. Keep in mind that I've been working on DLC content for a little bit of time now and my brain is fried. But yeah, I think this one just looks a lot better. The first one looked like a proper settlement. This one kind of looks like a fortification type of thing. And it's probably why I'm more keen on it. To be honest, it's just generally good anyway. Like, you can see really cool assets. Everything looks so industrial. Everything looks so Warhammer, you know, it's over the top, but it's still Warhammer fantasy. It's everything that we've seen in very little lore pictures. We haven't actually gotten a little art for this. Unfortunately, yeah, it's still got capture points and so on. I don't know if this has changed for this patch or anything, or if anything has been balanced for that. And unfortunately, no new buildings. The buildables just kind of look very generic. I'm just trying to be as honest as possible here, because obviously you guys are looking at these videos, deciding whether or not you want to buy this DLC or not. Now, my hypothesis is why we haven't gotten so many maps is because the Darklands isn't really that big. Yeah, but let's be very honest here. We've been through there in Immortal Empires already, and yeah, it's not a big territory, so they don't need as many maps as, say, for example, Cafe, which has a fair few more. Either way, like I said, visually, quite impressed. And you'll start to notice that when you start going into the major settlements, because they're a lot more impressive despite the fact that we've seen that format already. So the one that we're going to be seeing first is Zarnagarund, and as you can tell, it's got the same format as a lot of Cathayan's settlements. It's actually a little bit cut as far as I can see, so it's a bit different in a sense, but yeah, absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I think it follows more in the line of the Tomb King ones instead. But yeah, super, super cool. It looks like a gigantic factory, which is kind of cool, man. Like, again, yeah, same format, but very visually impressive. And you can see that moving around when you get the big gate in the background and so on. Like, I look at that and I think, wow, you know, this is what I always wanted from a tabletop perspective, right? I wanted to make battle maps to look kind of like this. Obviously not in the same format because, you know, ranked units and so on. But, visually, this is what I wanted from terrain, and it's something that I hope that we get to see in Warhammer the Old World. You can see so many little bits of detail that really don't have anything to do with your battle, but it's just nice to see visuals like this, right? There are certain town maps and city maps for other factions which don't look as good as this does. Maybe it's because it's, you know, we're looking at the Chorfs, and it's so exciting to finally get the Chorfs that many of us are just like, oh wow, you know, this is absolutely amazing. But I'm looking at it from a long-time Warhammer fan perspective, and it's definitely something that I imagined when I was thinking of how these towns would look and so on. You know, it kind of looks like a little bit like London, right? A little depressing. But yeah, you know, there's so much details which you just can't get to, like the trains, obviously just all these things here and there, which if you're not specifically looking for, it's something that you won't notice. But yeah, I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away with how things look, and I can't wait to see future maps, hopefully for, you know, other races, factions, and hopefully we get DLC like Lord Packs. It'd be nice if that introduced new maps for just factions and so on, right? Because at the end of the day, we want more. I would love more. If they got rid of the settlement feature, you know, like the whole capture point system, it'd be even better. But keep in mind that we do have some really cool mods that will just remove that and it just turns into a normal settlement battle like everyone wanted, or at least myself and a few others, right? But yeah, the towers look great. The towers are actually quite impressive. Just the statues with the bull centaurs, it's breathtaking. It is absolutely breathtaking. This is, again, something that I know a lot of people won't like. I know these videos don't tend to do quite well. But for me, this is like, oh yeah, finally. We've actually seen maps, really cool maps at that. The last map itself is the Black Fortress. And yeah, I don't think there's any unique ones. Maybe there will be in the future. There is definitely some cool stuff here, because this one is a little bit more compact. But you can see that it's very visually impressive. Barring that random kind of bent chimney, I'm not too sure what that's about. But yeah, the towers are super, super cool. Everything is compact and it looks like a proper industrial city. It really gets you that big feeling of stuff. I don't know. It's just, this one's my favorite. I have to say that this one might be my favorite. It's just so impressive. It's so freaking cool. I absolutely adore what I'm seeing. All the little details. It's going to be a fun map to fight in. I've already had a few test maps, you know, test fights against AI and stuff, fighting through it or just defending it. And yeah, I think it works quite fluidly. I'm not seeing too many AI issues with pathfinding. Well, no more so than the usual stuff, which, you know, is just something that we're kind of used to with Total War. It's not just Warhammer. I mean, this is something that we've known since, like, well, personally, I've known since Rome 1, because that's the first game I ever played. But yeah, it's a common thing. I haven't seen it struggle that much, though. I haven't seen stuff getting stuck. I don't think there's a lot of areas to kind of dock at, too, which is very, very good, because it's the docking, I think, which caused a lot of the AI issues. So yeah, you've still got the docking on the walls, but no docking areas that I've seen anywhere else, as far as I've really known. I don't know, I could be blind, but in general, yeah, super, super fun, super enjoyable. Literally my only criticism is the fact that it's not enough, at least to me, but then again, like I said, you know, the darkness is not a big area, so really you're not going to notice it too much. On the experience of different campaigns with different various factions, you're normally pushing quite quickly out anyway. So even if you're playing as the Empire, you're going to be pushing into Bretonnia. If you're playing as the Dwarfs, you're pushing into the World's Edge Mountains and the Badlands. It's going to be the same thing here when you're playing as the Chaos Dwarfs. You're going to push into either the Northern Chaos Waste or Grand Cafe or the Mountains of Morn or the Empire / Kislev. So you're not going to be seeing this map that often as far as I'm aware. So yeah, it shouldn't really be too much of an issue. Plus, we know that diplomacy bonuses are big with the Chaos Dwarfs. So yeah, you're going to be not fighting with the other Chaos Dwarf factions too much. Unless you end up triggering war with them. There's a few ways that can happen. But that's going to be, you know, we'll talk about that when it comes to the campaign stuff. The important thing is that visually it represents the race that you're going to be playing. And this gives me hope in the future in case we do get Ind, in case we do get Koresh and stuff. It would be cool if we had more settlements that just really heavily breathe the theme there. And I think that they're finally getting to that point that we're getting some really special looking maps, right? We had that with, you know, obviously with Kislev and Cafe, but yeah, just a little bit extra would be great. There is one on the way map, by the way, which, you know, fair enough. You're not really going to see this too much either. I'm imagining that this is going to trigger mostly in the Darklands. And it's just nice to have something that will actually represent that. Again, yeah, small map because it's just what it is. It's supposed to be one of these things that you're only going to see if you're using the underway or you're attacking someone who's in the underway. Again, I am fully aware that you're not interested in the pretty maps. Some of you are just watching this video to humor me, but I am a big fan of this because visually Total War Warhammer needs to feel like Warhammer Fantasy, and this does. This really, really does. I'm living my childhood. You have no idea how many times I've said that I wish we had like a Total War Warhammer. That was like years ago now, right? We're coming close to a decade at this point of this game existing. So I'm just really happy to see this type of stuff. I'm really, really pleased that we're getting this and we're seeing visual distinctions, and it's not just, you know, land battles. I know a lot of people prefer the land battle maps, but this to me, with the no real-time building mod, which I hope doesn't take too long to get updated when this patch goes live, it's just absolutely special. But yeah, not too much to talk about here, so it's going to be a pretty short video. Let me know what you guys think about the settlement maps, because I am still trying to go and give feedback to Creative Assembly regarding siege battles and so on. I've not given up hope. I have not given up hope, and I'm hoping that a few months down the line or whatever, you know, we'll see just some changes. It would just be great. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Start a bit of a discussion, and I'll see you all again very soon. Join us for the stream if you so wish, because, you know, it's always kind of fun to do so. And we'll be streaming for a while, so that'll be fun.